Well, after nearly a full calendar year, I'm almost finally done with recording this game.
Yep. It's been quite a journey. There's definitely...
This game is draining, it really is.
Don't look at
Alright,
me like that.
we were actually having meta stuff again.
Welcome to court.
Enjoy your stay. Don't forget,
7
you're here
years.
forever.
All leading to one verdict.
Phoenix, stop being pretentious. That's just not who you are.
No, it's literally 7 years in the making. A verdict which you must decide.
Can I decide?
That's not our job.
Is the defendant, Vera, innocent or guilty?
That depends, Phoenix. Which of those two scenarios will make the game end faster?
The courtroom doors are opening. The trial awaits.
Oh my god.
Are you
You're
ready
not
to
the case
begin?
already.
You're not Moon Knight. Just shut up.
You're not.
I mean,
you're not.
Paige was right. We'll throw anyone under the bus at this point. Can we go home?
Okay, without spoiling, he is actually talking to someone to actually
he's
justify
like the
why he's
members
saying
of the
like that.
jury because this was like an experiment.
Yeah.
I think he said it at the beginning of the trial or something. This is just an
At this
experiment for the members of the
That
jury.
makes sense.
Okay.
Phoenix said he himself was helping him with all of it.
Yeah,
But-
yeah.
The problem is the obvious meta concept.
Stop.
What the fuck is going on?
Teo.
Aye.
Plot twist. If you pick Vera as guilty, the game will throw you all the text. What a worm! You picked Vera as guilty, huh? Now allow me to tell you a lot of trivia about worms. Did you know that worms are
This is not plumbers don't wear ties.
Actually, he was referring her for James, but you wouldn't know.
Court is now in session for the trial of Vera Mission.
Who
Oh,
may or may
thank
not be
God.
dying.
I guess what, guys? The main character's back.
Not just that, we have plot
The main
again.
character.
The defense is ready, Your Honor.
That's the thing too. I don't think the game
Finally,
even
I
knows.
Finally, I can voice the main character in my own playthrough.
Fuck you! I'm so tired of you. Okay, fuck off.
Prosecutor Gavin, how is the defendant of Vera Mission's condition?
Yes, how is one of the few characters that we actually care for?
Acute atrochinous poisoning, according to her physician.
Speak for yourself, too.
He could die at any time. Oh no! How will I ever cope?
So it's like Sergeant Steel in Amazon's Attack with the deadly bee sting.
Okay, Shiroi, I know that you're awfully devastated by this news, so,
What?
yeah, exactly.
They can't put her on trial without her being here.
Yeah, it didn't stop them from putting Maya on trial when they accused her of killing her mother.
Yeah.
True.
Also, do they have video feeds at this point?
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Well, remember, Shiroi, we have holograms in this universe according to the live action movie.
They should wait for her to get better and do it then.
Sorry, Tuesday, we got a 3-day court trial procedure.
Sorry, Trucy, but the world doesn't stop just because Vera is in the hospital. We have to kind of get this done.
The apocalypse? That seems very convoluted.
Yes, Trucy, but this is not a JRPG. It's a point-and-click adventure game.
Does Truce even know what that means?
Yeah. Oh, well, it pretty much is complex, but yeah, basically she does have a good idea.
That's being a little harsh.
She may be young, but she's savvy to a lot of the older
Besides,
stuff.
I really want to hope Phoenix actually paid some school for her poor child.
They risk having no one
No,
left.
he did. I'm not exactly sure, but I'm pretty sure there's one point where they do mention that Trucy does indeed go to school aside from doing her magician stuff. Don't worry
Oh yeah,
about that.
absolutely.
Yeah, don't worry about that. The trial of father further. No, Teo. Unlike the other father, Phoenix is actually trying.
Yeah.
So,
This is one reason why I can actually appreciate Hobo Phoenix. Trust me, I still have issues with his whole being cryptic or whatnot, but that does make sense in some contexts, and at least he's a good enough father.
oh, there you go. Apologies to the defendant, but the show must go on.
Sadly, he's right.
If Vera dies, the trial will be cancelled.
Well, I guess you can't say you'll have
Trial
lost.
cancelled due to low sales.
Babes?
Boobs.
I'm not gonna let out to burp for a second.
Oh.
we didn't
Wow,
hear
literally a second.
Mr. Wright told me everything that's been going on behind the curtain all these years. I'm going to get Vera her innocent verdict while there's still time.
That's right, I gave Apollo most of the information. Well, I didn't tell him everything.
Through what? Through what? Telepathy?
Nah, off screen. In
Oh, of
between the
course.
trial days.
Oh,
Oh,
my favorite.
Dwibs' favorite. The prosecution's case is unchanged by recent events. Why did Vera Misham succumb to poison? She was poisoned by poison! Yes! Because
why?
she couldn't live with the guilt of what she... Fuck you.
He's no different than any other
Objection!
prosecutor in this regard.
Wow, I love how you've gone from saying that he's different to how he's no different.
This is like a line from any of the previous ones, honestly.
The same poison that took her father's life.
Here's the big difference, Shiroi. This game doesn't earn the aspects of those three. That's the problem. This game doesn't. Anyway, what better confection could you ask for? Look at that. I banged the wall. Clearly, that must mean I'm
The
serious.
dramatic effect.
Being the killer, she would have access to the poison.
Okay, you've got a point there, but...
The girl barely goes outside. You have to drag her out.
Yeah.
Significant, since it's rather hard to come by.
How'd you get it then?
Well, I think we've
I doubt
established that...
quinine is something you can order over eBay.
Well, we have established in the evidence that the poison was on the stamp, which was within the home.
In other words, I see no need for further discussion.
Oh, Clavier,
In other words, you're not really thinking about this, are you?
Oh, he is sure. There's actually a reason he doesn't want to continue with
Could have
this.
had our verdict yesterday and the game would be over.
Yeah.
Well, Mr. Justice. Well, the trial could be over before the intro trial music's even finished playing. If you have no objections, I see no reason to postpone the verdict.
Yay!
But then all the 7 years will have gone to waste.
We can all go. All right, we can all go home. So,
What we need to worry about isn't the verdict, but the trial itself.
Apollo, don't screw this up for me.
The defense holds that Vera Misham is the victim, not the killer.
Ah, fuck.
To be fair, Pedro, if he didn't continue with this trial, we wouldn't have eventually gotten some of the good stuff in Dual Destinies.
All right, if that's so, then you have to prove something. She was in court, giving her testimony before us. Nah, for a moment, I thought they were gonna have a flashback with her speaking. So, yeah. She.
You know, this court has a bad luck with people killing over from poison.
How do
Yeah.
you with poison? How do you propose her killer poisoned her? With poison, Clavier. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I just love that joke from the first game. Oh, and incidentally, it would be nice if you could told us who her mystery killer
How the fuck is Apollo
was.
supposed to know that in like one day? The prosecutor's objection is sustained. Fuck, even the judges are dumbo.
Well, to be fair, they have a point. We're the one making the
To be
claim,
unfair,
so we...
how can you find... To be unfair, in what reality, even this one, can you find all that out in one day? And don't go saying it's during the investigation, Jover. Apollo didn't even investigate.
I'm sorry, could you
object to
repeat
this.
that again?
Yes.
I object. Sorry. Go ahead.
I got two things to prove here. Who did it and how. Which to hit first.
Anyway, Dwibs, what were you asking about?
I was saying, well, Apollo wasn't doing really any investigating that we know of.
Oh, well, wait. Investigating of what? The crime scene?
Who poisoned Vera?
Oh, well, he's already done investigating there, and let's not forget, Phoenix gave him all the info that he got over those 7 years as well. Essentially, the evidence we've garnered from that second investigation will factor into this court trial here, so Apollo does know what he needs to know.
Right. Apollo, remember this as we test later.
Okay, Apollo, I'm trusting you with all this information I've collected over 7 years, and if you screw it up, my ultra super secret plan is going to be ruined, and, well, let's just say there will be no chance of me ever being a lawyer ever again. No pressure.
So, Mr. Wright, you're saying that Trucy is my father?
Oh, never mind. I didn't mention that part to you. But yeah, it turns out that Trucy's mother's father was a jerk.
What's this? My, what a beautiful bottle.
Anyway, good luck, Apollo.
Thanks. I'd like to give whoever designed that a hand.
Oh.
Judge, please.
The answer is nothing. I object to this line of questioning. Objection sustained.
You're dead.
It's like ghost
Spirit channeling, remember?
I don't
His
see any
stats,
spirit mediums in the
nope.
room.
Don't worry, Pearl is in the audience.
Of course.
Oh no.
Sure, you've already
Poor
seen a
child.
picture of
And-
Pearl
and I-
spirit channeling Manfred von Karma.
No, nothing. Nothing. There you go. Clavier doesn't want to imagine it either. There you go, see?
Anyway, back to the trial.
Nothing at all.
So the killer put poison in the bottle, in this bottle, and made her drink it. It's like the third game.
Yes,
Well,
it is like it, but it's not.
Okay, yeah, sure.
As Prosecutor Gavin has told us, this is nail polish.
Yeah, you don't drink that, really.
Nail polish?
It's a thing,
Come-
Judge.
Judge, you are...
It's like paint for nails. Know any women with red nails?
I forgot, is the judge married? He
Yeah.
should
Yes,
be.
he is.
Oh,
He-
my wife has red nails.
Oh, there
I
you go.
see. So she's been painting them all this time.
there you go,
Judge.
Tia.
How disconnected from reality are you?
Pedro. Senile states are a very, very intricate matter.
Jova,
Let's
it's my
recall
job and I
today's
can tell you
trial.
not on this level.
Remember
Well,
when
what's
Vera
wrong?
was supposed to
Well,
find
let's also
Kristoph?
think about this, Teal. The judge clearly has been living longer than most people normally do, so maybe it's a
Well-
super case of senileness.
Well, actually, Teo, yeah, Jova has a point because the judge is hundreds of years old. He's been existing since the witch trial times.
He's been
So
existing
obviously-
since at least DL6.
Wait, actually, maybe... What if it's actually Lord British from on the Ultima series taking refuge in another dimension after Ultima 9?
Sure, why not?
Interesting theory.
It really remember, Teo, the judge is immortal, so he's been around since the early
Time
Middle
immemorial,
Ages.
yeah,
So
yeah.
anyway, so here's what happened. Apparently the poison was in the nail polish, and because Vera gets nervous a lot, she bit at her nails, which of course would have been an easy way for the poison, little by little, to work
I
its way
wonder
into her
who sent
system.
that. Yeah.
When the prosecution had Vera examined, did they check her nails?
Now this is actually an interesting
Yes,
concept.
Javier.
On the exit, stop working.
Bailiff, have them check the defendant's nails at once!
While she's
Justice.
unconscious.
Is it still Mike Meekins or is someone else?
Assume it's Mike Meekins.
Okay.
Yes. You know who did this?
Who is the final boss of this game?
Well, I wonder.
Dammy
Keiji
Gant?
Inafune.
Do you know who
Yes.
put poison in that nail polish?
And then Keiji Inafune enters the courtroom. Dun,
Mega Man
dun,
style.
dun, dun,
No,
dun,
it's the
dun.
Mega Man intro.
That bottle belongs to Vera Mission?
Does it ring a bell?
Why do you ask? Know someone else might have a bottle like this?
No. Just check.
He just doesn't want to admit that he
That's
uses the
it.
same nail polish.
You were saying, Shirai?
No, I forgot.
You're about to accuse someone of poisoning that bottle of nail polish. Please dispense with the chatter.
Die, nail polish, die!
You realize the weight of this accusation? Here, let me show you.
But, Judge, I really hate nail polishes. One of them killed my father.
40% of the health bar.
You'll lose a third of the health bar.
Oh, jeez.
Understood, Your Honor. No problem. Then let us ask. Who poisoned Vera Mission via her nail polish?
Phoenix.
Yeah, Phoenix did it.
I dare you to just answer that. I dare you.
No,
A desperate
Tracy did
man
it.
takes
Tracy
desperate.
did it.
Trixie.
She was jealous of Vera's artistic talent.
It was
She didn't-
Gumshoe.
And Vera poisoned herself.
Well, it wouldn't be the first case of suicide, now would it?
It was Clavier. It was Clavier.
Was the judge?
No. Take that! What's this? Kristoph? Gavin?
A villain from the first case who returns in the final case? This reminds me of the third game.
Objection. What's your game?
Trials and Tribulations.
I prefer Spirit of Justice, but yeah, that one's great too. My bro, there's no way he could do a thing like because your bro is such a nice guy, isn't he, Clay?
So, let's see. We finally
You
get
should
to...
know that better than anyone else.
What's his point? He killed someone in the first case.
So, we finally actually get to see Clavier mention more about what he thinks of his brother. About time.
He's behind bars.
He does, Java, but like Dwibs just pointed out, not for nothing, Clavier, but you already know that your brother killed someone.
That's
so
exactly.
I really go.
That's exactly my point. Think back
Is this a
to.
hill you want to die on?
That's my point. Think back to how he reacted about his brother in, the second case when we first met him. He said, "Hey, you're the guy who beat my brother or something." I mean, yeah, he acknowledged that we were responsible for getting his brother into jail, yet he didn't seem that too choked up or even surprised about it. So where's this coming from?
I don't because consistent writing is overrated, Jova.
Now,
To
in hindsight,
To be fair, though, Clavier has been subjected to basically a trauma conga line of his own. First it's his brother at first, then he loses a case to someone like Apollo, then in the first case one of his closest friends and co-workers basically turns out to be a complete dickhead, unbeknownst to him, and now he seems to know that his brother is involved in something even bigger than it was before. I'm pretty sure everyone's nerve will crack at this point.
Teo actually does have a good...
That would be fine, too, if the game actually focused on that and fleshed that out.
To
but
be
it
fair-
doesn't.
Okay, to be fair, Teo does have kind of a point. I guess you can say that they were building up to Clavier's eventual breakdown. Like, he puts on a smiling face here and there. My only issue is again, his behavior in the third case was inconsistent as all fudge. Like, if they had just kept his behavior...
everyone's character is inconsistent throughout.
Well,
Yeah.
okay.
That face
Well,
tells me one
except
thing.
for maybe Vera and a couple of
Kristoph
others.
Gavin's
but
own
they're
younger
side
brother doesn't find it inconceivable at all.
To be fair, Apollo's been consistent enough. He's just kind of been bland. Trucy, yeah, she was inconsistent. Clavier, though, stands out because, again, he is the prosecutor. Prosecutors of Ace Attorney games tend to be one of the most important parts of them. They're your recurring enemy, and in some ways, one half of the same coin in each regard.
Guys, guess what? We're gonna summon from jail.
You're gonna
as a
summon
witness.
Kristoph.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, all right.
Well, okay,
Give me his medal, Dwibs.
Yeah, Pedro, what tribe is supposed to
Shady,
be?
I guess.
Well, not shady, Shiroi. That I'm gonna go with
Legendary, since he's technically apparently high level.
Sure, let's go with legendary.
Imaginary,
Give him the wasabi.
Jesus Christ.
Legendary.
There you go.
Joe, not Joe.
That's how
It's
it goes.
the legendary song to us when you can watch. Anyway, okay, the defense's wish is granted.
Okay, I will give it.
I actually prefer the song from the Yokai Watch You, but yeah, that was nice. Let prisoner Kristoph Gavin take the stand. You were saying?
Yay.
Okay, I'll say this right now. Kristoph's interactions with his brother are actually quite interesting, you'll see.
May
Okay.
the
Imagine.
proceedings to call a special witness.
Let's just remember his reactions to when Emma did an impression of Kristoph.
Gavin, currently residing in solitary cell 13 at Central Prison.
Thanks for the... No.
I'm so looking forward to Summon Blackwell.
Shouldn't you be in handcuffs?
Ah, Your Honor. How nice to see you again.
Shut up.
I mean, they made no effort to contain Dahlia.
It's been
so-
quite a while, hasn't it?
Well, to be fair, Shiroi, they
Can-
started at first with Dahlia.
Can we have one of those puke sticks from Minority Report?
Although, to be fair, Kristoph was subtle enough in the first case until he got ousted as the killer, too. Here, he's got no reason to be subtle, since, though, he's already in prison.
But don't you see, Teo? Maybe the ball wouldn't have fell if you weren't there to catch it. See?
It's not every
I'm
day I'm
smart.
summoned from my solitary soul.
I just say that the book was better.
I think you already know Mr. Kristoph Gavin.
I'm not familiar with the book, so I can't say that.
It's Philip
Ah.
Dick. You don't really go wrong with him.
Mr. Justice. I hear you've been doing quite well for yourself.
Thanks to you.
If by well you mean nothing at all, then
Nah.
Actually, yeah,
no, allow me.
Why do I feel like somehow he's still
Apollo, didn't you get the memo? It's not ack, it's that's how you say it, don't you know?
Actually,
Apollo, you can do it.
that's a good question. Can we get some insight or about the conflict that Apollo is having about the fact that, you know, Kristoph was supposed to be technically his mentor before Phoenix took over?
We actually
Does
are.
this look familiar?
Funny
I mean, we got something in the first case, obviously, but it wasn't that much.
well,
it certainly would benefit with this new angle.
I suppose if it's any consolation, we do get a semblance of that in the trial bits right here. Like, I'll say this right now: for as short as this trial bit is, the bits with Kristoph are actually some of the better writing in the game.
Wait. The late defendant.
Hmm.
She's not dead yet.
Oh, give it a few hours. I'm sure she will be. And was there something concerning this Bolto you wish to ask me about?
That is the most eccentric.
Can I force feed this
I've
shit
ever-
down your throat?
Clearly my bro is legit here. I mean, look at him.
I admit, I respect her for her taste in nail polish.
At least she'll die pretty.
Yes, I'll send a bunch of roses for that.
Your taste indeed.
Remember me for my beautiful nails.
This nail polish was how Vera Mission was poisoned.
Would you say she was poisoned by poison, as your new mentor would say? Article
Yes.
9, was it?
No matter how many times I hear it, it doesn't get any less funny to me. I just love that joke.
You're well informed about the case, Mr. Gavin.
Well, of course, I make it my business.
But you're in solitary confinement.
Oh, you never know, Your Honor. Someday, attorneys may actually be able to still
Yeah,
be
that's another-
attorneys from within jail. Give
Yeah,
it
yeah.
about a year or so.
Yeah, another thing about Kristoph, when he does that animation with the head nodding, yeah, you can so clearly tell they're trying to make him kind of an evil Edgeworth of sorts, like with the whole, you know, he's like refined and all that shit. But no, you're nowhere near as interesting.
I never actually got that from that. I just gave it as about of him just being cocky. Okay, I'll say this right now. It's funny you mentioned Blackwell, Pedro, because, you know, it's a shame that
Not
they
to mention
didn't...
Edgeworth, but
No. I'm talking about how you mentioned looking forward to Blackwell earlier. It's such a shame that they didn't come up with the concept of, well, okay, you all know how Blackwell's basically a prosecutor who is in jail or whatnot. It is such a shame they didn't come up with that concept for this game, because then Kristoph could have been much more of a bigger threat. But I digress.
Let's hold a proper trial, shall we?
Yes, indeed.
it's not even just that, Joe.
Having idle chit chat at the moment.
It's not even just that, Joe. But the great thing about Simon is that he's such a versatile prosecutor that he can
Kristoph
work as a
Gavin.
rival for any of the three protagonists.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Anyway, testimony time for Kristoph Gavin.
I'd be delighted. And I warn you, Justice, it won't be easy like last time.
The charges against you are quite severe, Mr. Gavin.
I'm already in jail. What more can happen?
You are
I
suspected
mean, the
of
death
the
penalty is
poisoning.
a thing in this universe.
You are suspected of the poisoning of the defendant, Vera Mission.
I guess Kristoph is one of the few lucky
Please
people who's
testify
not
this
gonna
matter
get the
to the
death
court.
penalty.
Well, Jova, in some cases it may be worse, like drop the soap. So, yeah.
Anyway,
Drop the soap.
this testimony, poisoning Vera.
Owning the same nail polish does not a murderer make.
I have to take good care of my nails. You can't blame me for that.
I have been in solitary confinement for half a year. How could I poison her?
Well, you could order someone to do it.
Please. My father died of the same poisoning, the meaning of which should be clear. If I could order someone around that easily, you think I'd still be around?
I'm sorry, Shiro, you couldn't catch that. Can you repeat?
I mean, if It's not solitary confinement, it's his own personal study.
Well, it is still solitary confinement. It's solitary, and it's a confinement. Doesn't matter how nice it is. Surely you're not going to suggest I'm responsible for killing her father, too.
Well, I'm afraid the defense's claim is sounding rather unlikely.
Yeah, no shit.
Naturally.
Remember, you were a defense.
Shit-eating Green's running the family. I can see that.
I'll give him this, though. I'm still more interested in Kristoph, if only because Kristoph has a more compelling situation than Clavier.
So,
Yeah, I guess.
So he claims not to know the missions. Very well. Mr. Justice, begin your cross-examination. Alright, finally I get to cross-examine somebody after, like, 8 days. I'm accusing Kristoph Gavin, my ex-boss.
There you go, too.
Well, it's the
Oh,
American dream,
But
getting
I know
to
he
taste...
But I know he poisoned the missions.
Well, Paul, it's the American dream, getting to tell off a dickish boss.
The question is, when could he have done it? Not to mention, why?
That's the biggest question.
Again, yeah, that's the thing that rotates around everything. Why? What does Kristoph to gain in all of these? From Phoenix,
don't
from
worry,
the
we'll
Gramarye tribe.
Find
Don't you see, Theo? I get to watch these people suffer for my amusement.
Thankfully, he's not that
I
shallow.
would believe that, but the franchise in general has made clearly much a point that obvious motives are not a thing here. So
Sometimes motives can be obvious for more simple cases. And you know, yes, in real life, sometimes people have no motives. It's just, when you're telling stories, you want to make them more interesting sounding. You don't want to fall back on the, hey, just
Oh,
because it's in real life, we can do it
yeah,
this
well,
easily.
they-
Oh,
they-
hello.
Well, yeah, obviously, Joe. But it's kind of like the same argument I give to Dwibs when it comes to House MD. Obviously, there are normal cases, but obviously, we're not gonna have a Dr. House episode where it's just a normal cold. That would
Also-
really make for an interesting story, now would it?
also, yeah,
A breath worthy of your new mentor, Mr. Wright. He has a scar on his hand.
I'm surprised we didn't went for a fourth-wall breaking moment with him saying, "Oh, are you spying on me or
Oh,
something?"
really? But you see, I saw it.
I know you're guilty because your hand.
Right when you said her father, too.
Mm.
Your hand tensed unnaturally, and a little devil appeared to give me the news.
The
A
devil's in the
little devil?
details.
Again.
And
What's
so-
with this
so-
symbol?
Don't you see, all along Apollo's been having the angel and the little angel and the little devil in the sides tell him what to do.
I
And
prefer when.
let's
prefer
assume,
when
for the
it was
sake of
calm,
argument,
really
that you
bad.
saw me being tense. What does that mean? Are all tense witnesses guilty? Oh snap.
That's not the point, and you know it.
He has a point, though. I mean, let's be quite honest. Any witness who's on the stand is gonna be nervous. Well, unless they actually did it, but that's often how you can tell. And tell me, was Drew Misham fond of nail polish too? Oops. Ah, then I must be very talented indeed. You sound sure of yourself.
Oh, no, sorry, I forgot to switch my microphone back on.
You muted. Okay then.
By accident.
You see, Drew Misham was killed on October 6th. While I was already in my solitary confinement cell at Central Prison.
It's always central. Central city, central prison.
Gosh,
Not
he has.
west
Hell,
or east.
back when our ITV channel had a regional network, our channel was called Central.
It's always central. What about the east, west, south, and north? Don't they exist?
Okay,
We
so
found a way all the same.
So Clavier has... Kristoph has quite the motive here. I mean, alibi.
And I found it too.
God dang
To
it.
be fair, we established before the trial that the postcard was sent a long time ago, so...
This is how you poison Mr. Mission with the
No,
badge.
Now, Joe, but let's not jump the gun. We're not there yet.
Just checking. Take that! I'm sure this commemorative stamp requires no introduction.
Who the heck are those washed-up beings?
They're the magician heroes.
You're
Never
a lot
heard of
better
them.
than- Oh, well, one of us doing a lot better than you are.
Oh, you mean the
night
one
Mr.
to the
Mission
right?
Left. The night Mr. Mission died, he was seen writing a letter. Quinine was found on the stamp, Mr. Gavin.
This displeases me. So I am to understand, this stamp was the murder weapon?
Indeed, you are.
Yes, you are. Oh, and yes.
You seem awfully fond of that.
This stamp was found in your prison cell!
Oh no.
He looks very displeased.
There we go.
This disappoints me.
That is all, Your Honor.
Drops the mic.
Huh.
Pipe bomb. Order! 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 Judge got so fed up with this, he's not even bothering to bang his gavel. Poison on the back of the stamp!
Be careful not to touch it.
After Drew Mission was killed, someone paid a visit to this witness's cell. Oh, sorry about my throat, Your Honor. Bad throat. Phoenix writes.
Oh
means you cannot use
yeah.
it- Which means Apollo cannot use his cords of steel.
Damn it.
Daddy?
That's right. Phoenix Wright and Apollo Justice working together. I handle the investigation, he does the trial work.
And I help.
Yes, you do,
Yeah,
Trucy.
sure-
You help
sure-
bail him
sure-
out.
Sure you do.
Oh, she helped.
Yes.
She bails you out in the second case.
You made Drew Mission write you a letter. Got it. That's how you killed him. Gotta sound nearly as old as Phoenix.
Oh yeah, so I gave him a writing assignment. Pedro. My. You've upset my poor brother to the point of uselessness. Or was he always like that? I can't remember.
Jesus.
Allow me to clarify this matter, Justice.
I think Gavin's choking.
Gavin?
He didn't take out
Dun,
the
dun, dun, dun.
substance.
Dun, dun, dun.
All you need to do is recall witness Spock Brush's
How
testimony.
did he know that? He was in jail.
I guess it's on the
Well,
court
there's the thing,
record?
see? After he put his letter in that envelope.
Actually, it can't be too far off. Remember, trials are basically broadcasted, and he probably has a TV too in that cell.
Probably, yeah.
Drawer
And
for
it-
something.
And knowing
I can
Kristoph, he
imagine-
probably
and
wanted
can-
to
can-
witness
can-
this one.
His desk.
Yeah, and I can imagine Kristoph wanting to follow these trials very close.
Yes, a stamp. A so-called poison.
You
Poison
know,
stamp.
the thing with Kristoph is that he's a very smart villain or whatnot, but honestly, okay, here's the problem. I feel like he should have been a recurring villain that wasn't incarcerated. Like, sure, yes, the main reason we haven't been incarcerated is so that he has this ultra super secret alibi or whatnot. But imagine if he was a recurring force throughout the game, he could have been a lot more compelling, and a good
Yeah,
representation of the dark age of the law,
I know.
too. The problem
Yeah,
is that
Joe, but-
because he's in a jail cell, we have to be told a lot of his smart stuff, kinda.
I gotta,
Yes,
I gotta get a quick drink. Jova, you take over.
Right.
Not just that.
What
it's
I'm
exactly
arriving at is that this commemorative stamp was in a frame.
That's exactly the problem, Joe. Because he spends his time in cell, and as a result off screen so much, because of that, we don't really flesh him out enough. Like, we don't really know that much about him as a
Which-
person, really. He's just kind of a bad guy.
Which
because...
is really a shame because, okay, while a lot of people talk about how Clavier has a lot of wasted potential, I'm more disappointed about Kristoph wasted potential because looking back to this game, giving it another playthrough, he has so much interesting potential. Like, this trial scene alone shows how much of a compelling villain he can be. I'll go more into that later. Don't want to rant.
He does have a point.
Alright, that's easy to you.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Yeah,
Tim.
sorry. How would the witness know if a victim was going to use the stem? Besides, actually get to voice someone in this fucking trial.
Yeah.
Without that, he couldn't have planned the murder.
What?
Say what?
Really, Clavier? You should be seeing through this weak spine bluffs by now.
Yeah, I can definitely see why you're defending your brother so much. He's so nice to you, isn't he?
Essentially, Kristoph is scared crapless of his brother.
Yeah, I think there is a subtext of an abusive relationship here.
Too bad the game never goes into that.
This is kind of why I'm a bit annoyed that the only time I guess this might explain why Clavier wasn't too choked up about us getting his brother incarcerated for murder. Yet why he's so quick to defend his brother now against these charges is... Well, I'll go more into later why it feels weird. For now, though, let's read. You assume he had something to say in the first place. Ooh, burn.
You know what could have been interesting? We could have had a final case where maybe Kristoph... Well, sorry, not Kristoph, sorry. Maybe Clavier is the victim.
Alright, guys,
Not a victim. Okay, never mind. Not the victim. Defendant. Like, and it's tied to his brother somehow, and then we unravel the story behind these two. How about
I know
that?
people would have then yelled Turnabout Goodbyes ripoff, but hey, this is already
Hang on.
taking inspiration from Trials and Tribulations, so why not?
Wait.
Go on, Pedro.
I'm not sure I agree with you there, Kristoph.
Clavier?
Sorry, bro. I'm not afraid anymore.
Well, what about the
Right.
bro code?
Honestly, bros before hoes, man. Honestly, I wanted to believe
So, is Apollo the hoe in all this?
you. Yes.
I'm not a hoe!
But
Of course
the
you're not.
defense wasn't
You're
Trying
missing
to
an
get away
X
with it.
chromosome for that.
not just okay. You were Kristoph. Not just that. Okay, Joe, but here's the thing. Regardless of how much similarities it has to Turnabout Goodbyes, wouldn't it be a lot more fucking interesting than this?
Yeah, it probably would be.
Yeah, exactly.
As for how, we'll go into that later.
Air forehead. What was your accusation again?
Oh yeah, by the way, one thing I'll give Godo over this guy is that Godo eventually grew out of calling Phoenix trite. Clavier will keep on calling Apollo Hair Forehead till the end of time.
Huh? Oh, it was that.
This poison stamp killed Drew Mission, yeah?
Ja, mein Torwächter.
To which my brother responded fuzzily. There was no way to know when Misham would use the stamp.
Stop mocking me, brother!
And stop mocking me, Justice.
Now I'm going to pay you back for insulting my music. You've never liked my rock.
This is how it could
Oh,
have
for
been.
Christ's sakes, I showed up at all your concerts before.
But you never said anything good about them.
I
Tell me,
did, but you were too
it needs to be planned.
I
Why?
said it was tolerable. Jesus Christ.
Anyway,
Why could that be a coincidence? Why? Why, Kristoph? Why?
Okay,
the
sir.
This case is simple that True Mission died by the stamp. That's all.
Okay, seriously, time out. I lost to this prosecutor? Seriously? Time back in.
I nearly lost to this guy.
Yep.
Kristoph, you tried to slip out from under his accusation by changing the subject. How could you?
Come on, Clavier, snap out of it.
If that's not bluffing, then what is it?
What are you up to, Clavier?
I don't know. I don't know anymore.
Pick a side, little brother. Pick a side already.
Yes,
This
please.
is- This is turning into like Black Mirror Bandersnatch, where he doesn't have any control. Of
Yeah, the last thing I want is things to be compared to Black Mirror about things as well. Let's just move on.
I silence the defense with the fewest words possible. It's called efficiency. You could learn some of that.
I've got a word for it.
Oh, again, you think he's such a nice older brother?
But Mr. Gavin, that's an impermissible testimony.
That's a
Oh,
no-no.
wait, that means Kristoph is out of line. Can we leave?
Very
Okay.
well. I shall take his claim head on then. Lawyer to lawyer. Justice.
Ex-lawyer. What?
Again, give it a year.
What?
Give it a year. Here there's a program where lawyers who even are in jail will be able to re-enter the practice. You accuse me of Drew Misham's murder, yes?
Well, you're on the witness stand, so yes.
Then allow me to ask you.
So by that logic, Teo, we accused Cody Hackers of being the murderer.
What possible reason could I have to kill a painter?
You hated his paintings.
Apollo, motive. He's
I
talking
know
about
he's
motive.
talking about
He's-
fucking motive.
It's simple, Trucy.
There are
Kristoph.
no doubt.
It's simple, It's simple, Apollo. He's the world's harshest art critic.
Trucy, if you have something
But why would the
valuable to
critic want to kill the
contribute,
painter?
let
Wouldn't the
me-
painter want to kill the critic?
Trucy, if you have something valuable to contribute that isn't stating the obvious, please let me know.
Unless
what I
you're
mean,
suggesting...
what I mean, Jova, he's so offended by bad art that he will kill the artist for even painting it.
So he's like the anti-Uwa Ball. Instead of the producer going up and beating the critics, it's the critic going out to attack the maker.
Now here's
Sure, why not?
Why didn't he bring up the motive from the very beginning?
He's playing you.
Unless he was afraid it was a battle he might lose.
Dun dun dun.
Just hit my water?
So, what does it mean?
Sure, bro. Just keep doing that. This is not hurting me at all. You've been doing this ever since we were 5.
Trucy, could you do me a favor? Could you go over to the prosecution bench and collect Gavin's tears? I can drink them.
Yeah, good. You
Jesus
need them for
Christ.
energy.
Gladly.
Thank you. A motive for murder.
You should be very familiar with that, Judgy.
This is a vital, if not the most vital element in this case.
There you go,
Whoa!
Teo. We're finally there you go, Teo. We're finally addressing this.
I can only hope so.
Please consider this when making your statement. Bear in mind, there's 3 more parts left.
Yeah.
It's about this
To be-
battle.
To be fair, we have a long thing. We have long things to wrap up.
It would kind of be a bit of a cop-out if we wrap this up all too
That's
quickly.
pretty vital.
There's one rule of
No,
a
it's
finale case in Ace Attorney. Never make it feel like it's way too short for its own good.
That's the thing on this, Joe. From what I can tell, this is one of the shorter final trial cases.
It is. It really is. And there is a reason for that, but it kind of just go to show some of the faults with a jury system in the grand scheme of Ace Attorney.
Understood, Your Honor. I'd like to present evidence. Let's see what you have for us.
The badge.
What reason did Kristoph Gavin have for wanting to murder Drew Bisham?
His attorney's badge?
For the lulz?
He wanted his badge back. And there's that as well. Of course, it's going to be that one. Take that! Kristoph Gavin's motive becomes clear
Let's see what may have been behind those black cyclocks.
when we consider why the stamp came to Drew Misham's studio in the first place.
Oh yeah.
Why was that? Forgery, Your Honor.
Dun dun dun! That's actually more serious than murder!
No, Joe. The stealing a Christian book's worse than murder.
Yeah,
We already
we've made
covered
joke
that.
We've already made that joke. Moving on.
Drew Misham accepts his first job creating forged evidence.
7 years ago.
I've seen that before.
You were
I
there.
remember it like it was a flashback. page from a diary, isn't it? Magnifique Gramarye's diary.
Wow! It may take a while to remember, but he gets the details right down to a T. Ah, when Attorney Phoenix
Attorney
Wright
Phoenix
lost
Wright
his
lost
badge,
badge.
yes.
Yeah, we get it.
Oh,
Oh,
could you
I even timed it to how when Jova said it.
And this was the quote-unquote evidence he presented to his laws.
This is just like when you made me do your homework and then you presented it as if you made it.
Okay,
It's
Jesus,
this is just like you, Kristoph.
Jesus Christ, Clavier. He's mocking me, and even I'm not crying like you
You know,
are.
there's core drama and then there's this.
Mr. Wright requested surgery made. That was never proven, so how the hell did he lose his badge again?
Okay,
The game is not developing the relationship, so I might as well do it myself. Objection! The defense attorney on that case was Phoenix Wright.
Okay, Chris. Okay, Clavier, settle down, or I'll have to train dart you again like last
Again.
time.
Who, other than him, drunk with the prospect of victory, could have.
Really? You're suggesting Phoenix was drunk with the prospect of victory?
Clavier, go home. You're drunk. You're the one who's drunk. And why would they?
Just out of curiosity.
What? He's Xehanort?
What did the
Why do you remember this letter?
Sorted.
Just for curiosity, why did the chicken cross the road?
Mr. Drew Mission with deposit on deposit to that's an account. Please address the mission transfer. This is the first page. Sign the papers and send an enclosed envelope with the closed down within 3 days and ignore my disputes to them. And this is the second. Those were presented in court yesterday.
But now we know some context behind them.
Excuse me for a moment, I just need to take a sip out of Gavin's tears.
How salty were
Salty.
they?
Salty but sweet, right, Dwibs?
About as salty as the sea.
So sea salt ice cream.
Yep.
The stamp was none other than the poison commemorative stamp. Thank you for collecting those tears, by the way, for me, Trucy. Drew Mission drew his last breath just the other day. However,
Oh?
the motive for his murder was already 7 years old.
Oh!
They grow up so fast, those motives.
They're like cancer.
7 years old?
Oh yeah.
The client who requested this forgery was very cautious. About as cautious as my throat. He tried to erase anything and anyone with connections to the forgery.
Huh. Fair point.
Alright.
To keep them from talking. By the way, Mr. Wright, do you have any throat sweets?
Oh, yeah, I have some. Here you go.
Thanks. These are love hearts.
Yes, they come in that flavor. And I'll have you know, I got them from... Well, never mind.
But he made a mistake. Goes Yuri.
The stack was a picture of my favorite magician, so I kept it.
Mm-hmm.
Father took me when I was very young.
Stop staring at me.
It was a great magic show. I loved it so much.
So, in a
Yeah, you
fit
can
of
tell.
irony, she kept the stamp but didn't ever use it again because she wanted to keep it.
The killer's time bomb was delayed.
The second trigger of Killer Queen.
The poison stamp was sealed with a glass frame.
Harmless.
The name is Mr. Glass.
Where it sat for 7 whole years.
And no one was none the wiser.
That's the plot twist. Kristoph was a supervillain all along.
Kind of is.
Herr Forehead,
What now?
do you understand what you're telling us? Do you?
Do you?
The one who schemed up the forged diary page was the one who poisoned the stamp.
Apollo, you better not have accidentally gotten me implicated in all this.
And it was Phoenix Wright who presented the forged evidence 7 years ago.
Yes.
Apollo, raise an objection before this gets too far.
Take a shot every time they say 7 years ago.
Adding the two Shiro, if that was the case, I would be dead already. Adding the two statements together, the one who schemed to kill Drew Misham was none other than Phoenix Wright!
Apollo, I swear to God, do not make me come in there with my clue stick.
Objection!
Oh, thank God.
Sorry, but that's not how this is gonna go down. Don't worry, Mr. Wright, I saved your ass. Again.
Yes.
Oh? Then how will it go down?
Hopefully it'll go as well as your
What's the
first
line
trial,
from
who I
Mega Man
hope...
Powered Up, Pedro? You're gonna go so down, you're gonna be downtown.
Oh, you mean fully charged? You said powered up. So
Sorry, my bad.
I checked
Oh,
the
okay, hold
records on that case when I found this 7 years ago, just before the trial began.
Herr Forehead, when I'm done with you, you're gonna feel like you've been downtown. Down.
What? Really, Clavier? You're quoting a show from 2018?
Oh, boy?
It's so last year.
Hey, it's from our company, okay?
But it's that old.
Here.
Oh,
It was all I had
boy.
I had to watch on TV, alright?
Huh? What's this? Also, oh boy, that's nice. I guess I'm younger than I think I am.
Sure.
Oh, I don't know. I just got it over there. You told me to give it to the old boy in the blue suit with the spiky hair.
I guess someone thinks I'm really young.
And one more thing.
She complimented his great hairdo.
I'm sorry to have sprung this on you so suddenly.
Oh, don't worry. I'm sure this won't in any way hurt me.
I'll be right back again.
You
Got
keep
it.
being a pain in my neck even when you're dead.
I received the files from your previous attorney only yesterday. Wonder who that previous attorney was.
I understand I'm asking the impossible of you, but I'm gonna ask you anyway.
Well, you're no different from most of my clients. Well, you haven't really told me what happened yet. I kinda would have liked to have known that. All we did was play cards.
But don't you see, Mr. Wright, when you play a children's card game with a man, you really get to know him. And that was enough. See? There you go. That's basically what he's saying. Jova?
Alright, Phoenix Wright was put on the case the day before the trial started. Huh! He didn't have time to request a forgery.
So only now people are actually analyzing this.
The day before?
It
Yes,
took
the day
7
before.
years,
It comes
Jesus.
right before what becomes a day. Teal, as for 7 years, I was putting this whole trial together.
Now here's a question.
No, I mean the idea that Phoenix might have not been responsible for the forgery.
Dark Age of the Law.
Just,
Like
just
the,
who was Shady Enigma's previous defense attorney?
Well, shoot. I wasn't expecting the court to actually be smart enough to notice that.
No. This can't all be.
Oh, for Christ's sake. You're not even the one on trial here.
But it is all true.
Wow. Huh. I have to give up Paul credit. He proved my innocence in record time.
There was another man, a defense attorney, with a badge on his collar.
True,
Also-
another one involved with this case.
All it took to clear Phoenix's name was using some
It was you, Kristoph Gavin!
And now would be a good time for the corner theme to, pursuit theme to play, right? Right? Guess not.
Order, order, order!
If the game doesn't care, it's a pinch up. Even the game is uninvested in
Bring
this.
I'm a lawyer.
Jesus.
I get the feeling even the sound director was just checked out by at this point.
Let me begin by denying this. Stone cold, hard, and unmoving.
By God, it's Stone Cold.
Objection! It's easy enough to look up, Mr. Gavin.
I'd rather
It's on
not.
It's all over Leaf Book.
And impossible to prove if you can't.
I just said I can prove it.
You
True,
prove it.
yeah,
No, you
we
prove
can
it.
look it up on the internet. Or can we?
Gasp.
Attorneys are registered with the court the day before the trial begins. God, this court system is more messed up than we thought. In other words, no record remains in the court. How exactly did you intend to prove Phoenix Wright's claim?
Ex-defense attorney say what?
Nice try.
That would be difficult. Exceedingly so. I'm afraid this line of inquiry won't yield.
Objection! Her forehead.
You've really gone and done it this time.
Are you sure you don't have evidence? Well,
Gasp.
What's wrong
Sure.
with Prosecutor Gavin? He looks clammy.
Clammy?
Trucy, what do you think?
Well, what do you think, Tio?
where did
He's
you
so-
learn?
He's super stressed at the very least.
What does
There's
clammy-
actually a deeper meaning to all this, believe it or not.
Evidence! Evidence that shows this man, Kristoph Gavin, requested that forgery 7 years ago!
Caviar?
The Jovies to sound more angry.
This is-
Caviar? Are we
this is
really
pip-
doing this routine again?
This is payback for telling to Mom. Just prove it!
Look, you committed the crime and you had to do the time.
420 prove it.
Clear up these doubts now, or I swear I'm off this case! Yay!
Wow.
He must have thought of some evidence, Apollo.
Yeah, sure.
Would be nice if he could
Sure,
share
he-
with the court.
Just sucking on my, mint. Prosecutor Gavin looks like he's in physical pain. That darkness. I have to pull that darkness out of him. Proof is the only way I can.
Holy cow! So they were foreshadowing Legend of Korra Book 2 with this.
Guess what proves Kristoph Gavin's link to True Mission?
Dun, 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 dun.
You claim Kristoph Gavin requested a forgery of True 7 years ago.
Okay, Apollo, if you can prove that Kristoph was the one behind the forgery, then not only will you have finally found him guilty of 2 crimes, but I will finally be able to return back to being a lawyer. At least I think that's how it works.
Mr. Wright, bear in mind I'm doing this for justice.
Exactly.
Oh,
Oh,
yourself.
For great justice.
Exactly, Apollo. Yes. Now, do well, while I prepare the jury that I myself picked out for this case.
Objection! Are you telling the truth? Apollo just...
He called him
Shit,
by
he
his
actually called him
name.
by his name.
Gasp!
That
Senpai
means,
noticed me.
that means he's really mad at you.
Then I say we give him the benefit of the doubt!
Very well. But if you're wrong about this, be prepared for a penalty.
Be prepared.
Honestly, guys.
Objection!
guys,
Your Honor, you
harsh.
do the defense an injustice.
Ha ha ha.
Having said that, however,
Mr. Justice is clearly passionate about his claim. We should really show him the proper respect, don't you agree?
well, you're the you're an Exeter, plus you're a convicted criminal. How
Should the
does...
penalty not match his passion?
Okay.
You're
Oh,
the witness. You're
What
the.
a dick.
Not just that. You're the witness. You don't get any say in this. Fuck off.
I have connections.
Yeah, I agree.
I have many connections within my cell.
Lost them when you
don't
lost
have a
them when
job
you were found
anymore.
guilty.
Oh, I love that bit he said. He hasn't given a penalty like that in a long time. That's a reference.
Well, Mr. Justice, fine, Your Honor.
Well, he was sick of Phoenix by that point.
It's
I
not
think-
to worry. Guys, don't worry. I have the playthrough in front of me.
Of
All
course
I have
you
to
do.
prove is any kind of link. Something that ties Kristoph Gavin to Drew Mission.
God forbid that's a reference to Turnabout Big Top where you actually can get a penalty that big, if not bigger.
And I clearly have something that clearly does the job.
The badge.
Mr. Justice, present your evidence.
Present evidence.
Show us the link between our witness and Drew Mission.
Also, I gotta say, the court seems rather okay with letting the attorney who supposedly is infamous for forging evidence run this trial.
This evidence proves there is a link.
Objection! That scrap of paper? I'm afraid I can't let you submit that. Can't let you do
have
that,
no
Box.
Kristoph, have you checked it on both sides?
Is there some problem besides he's got no authority?
Exactly. I moved Dwibs on this one. What authority do you even have to reject
Represent
whatever?
it because I said so.
Yeah,
There
that's
is a
basically what he's saying,
problem,
really.
though. How could you possibly have that? You couldn't. You do remember the rules of evidence law.
Bro, I'm the prosecutor here. I'm the one who should be making objections.
Shut up and follow my lead, Swelp.
Shut
Hey,
up, Mokuba.
that's Daddy's writing.
You see, Theo, this is my headcanon. Kristoph is the brother who basically tells Clavier what to do, and Clavier resents him for that.
You abuse him, brother. Alright.
Yeah.
Sort
Hey,
of.
the game's not bothering, might as well.
It's the right handwriting. What is the meaning of this?
Excuse
You mean
me,
it's Mr.
I'm
Wright's
the...
handwriting.
Ah, I see now. Yes, of course.
Excuse me, I'm the prosecutor here. Like,
And you were doing such a bang-up job, weren't you?
Now shut up.
I
What do
just
you mean,
remembered,
of
I had a
course?
visitor yesterday. One who may or may not have been
Phoenix.
recording me. Phoenix Wright came to my cell. Except I wasn't there.
can we get the killer to kill this guy?
Where is the
Why
killer
would we
anyway?
want to? Oh, you'll see, Tio.
Phoenix
That's
Oh,
Wright?
we'll get to know. Okay.
When I returned, I saw he had something of mine in his possession. He must have turned it into a hologram and stuck it into the court record. And I had no intention of letting him get away with reading my private mail.
But you don't get a choice in that matter.
Well, to be fair, Shiroi, is stealing something from an inmate really admissible evidence?
Mail? You mean this is in your cell?
No. However, it appears Mr. Wright has yet to be cured of his bad forging habit.
Oh...
Oh, snap.
Well, if it's a forgery, it's not a very good one. The handwriting's terrible.
Judge, that's not the point.
This is Mr. Wright's reproduction of what was written in the real letter.
Oh, okay, that explains it.
Huh.
Why couldn't Phoenix just...
Hold on, Your Honor, hold on, Your Honor, the phone is ringing, so can we pause the trial for a bit?
Wait a minute, Phoenix had a camera on his head. He couldn't just video himself reading that letter?
Shiroi,
Right,
he
but
did.
Kristoph
Shiroi, he
Gavin's
did
cell.
video himself reading that letter.
Brought
Remember?
with him a small video camera.
Oh,
Oh,
there you
there you
go.
Oh, okay. But
Yeah,
he
see,
didn't
right?
need to reproduce the letter, though. He could just show the video.
I guess he was just being thorough. He wanted to show that he was on the straight and narrow.
He recorded his entire conversation with you, Mr. Gavin.
Oh, now I
There you
know
go,
that
there-
has to be illegal somewhere, somehow.
This game took
Actually, it isn't. As long as you're part of the conversation, it is not illegal to
The
privately
contents
record
of your
something like this.
personal mail.
Gah! Regardless,
Is your mouth twitching, I see?
this mockery of a piece of evidence will never be accepted by the court. I read
Immediately the judge is like, court accepts his evidence.
evidence based on a video. A man with no authority whatsoever claims he took.
Says
You have no authority.
Says the guy who somehow managed to make like a mega penalty even though he's a convicted criminal.
Yeah.
A man who happens to be an ex-attorney, suspected of forgery, might I add. A no-good pleb who is totally an absolute sham of an attorney.
You're jealous.
Yeah.
Prosecutor Gavin.
Excuse me, he was only an attorney for 3 years. I well exhumed that.
Suddenly remember I exist. Okay.
Well, you haven't been saying
Prosecutor
much.
Gavin?
Uh-oh. As embarrassing as this is for me to say,
I never loved you.
Might as well. Why
I'm
not?
afraid my brother is incapable of making rational judgments at the moment. Therefore, I will be taking his place as prosecutor for the rest of this case.
Excuse me?
There you go. There you go. Now it's Kristoph's turn to take somebody's place away again. You see, Theo. He's evil Phoenix. He also likes to take places of people away.
Well, when you get down to it, like Phoenix, Kristoph does kind of usurp the attention away from Clavier in this final case.
I can understand what they're going for.
Defense's claim is denied.
I can understand that they're trying to have Clavier is way too distraught to even speak. The problem is that in that moment could have worked if the game actually bothered to flesh their relationship out and actually earned this.
Only actual evidence is permitted in the court of law.
As you recall,
We had entirety we had the
Please
entirety
remove
of
the
Rise from
defense's
the Ashes.
evidence from the record.
but as you will recall from Rise from the Ashes, this evidence may not exactly hold up in this particular court of law.
Okay,
Better
can you
luck
stop
next
please making
time,
that face?
Justice. Game over for Justice.
Wow, wow.
Wah, wah.
You always do this, bro.
Well, we've still been of our cross-examination.
Look, Clavier. I wouldn't do this enough if you were actually on the level with me.
But the defense appears to be lacking proof.
And my brother seems to be lacking his gumption yet again.
I'm forced to end the cross-examination of Kristoph Gavin at this point.
Now, if you'll excuse me,
Yeah,
I'm going to be suing you for wrongful prosecution.
On a more serious note, yeah, Kristoph, don't bother to, try to give some words of encouragement to your brother or anything. Yeah.
Apollo, do something.
Well, to be fair,
Yeah, dude.
Pedro, the last things Clavier were saying were stuff that could have implicated Kristoph, so he had little to no reason to encourage him.
I'm thinking, but without evidence.
I'm expecting a surprise objection
I
from
don't have
Phoenix.
anything I can use on it.
So now we're pulling Yu-Gi-Oh logic. Apollo will have an evidence right out of his ass for the last term.
Wait and see.
Very well.
You've activated my trap card.
Cross-examination.
You've activated my trap card.
Oh?
Pulled evidence from my ass.
Not quite.
Objection. The show's over. Get the crowd screams for more.
Oh my god, he's got his second
So-
win!
So, Kristoph, think I lost my mojo? Only now do I understand why.
Oh god, he's having one of his revelations.
Prosecutor Gavin?
Frankly, I'm relieved.
Has a heavy burden been lifted off your shoulders at long last?
This has been bothering me for 7 whole years.
Finally, we are about to come to the fruition of why Clavier acts the way he does and why he wanted this to be simple.
And I'm tired of the whole youthful angst scene.
Basically, he's been dreading
Fuck that
something.
Now's our chance. Let's clean out the family closet. Eh, Kristoph?
Oh, are you finally coming out of it? I hear you've been hitting on the Justice.
Well, I mean, you gotta be in it to come out of it.
Sure, he's been hitting on Justice so... Well, he also hits on Emma. Maybe he's bi. calm yourself before you say something you'll regret, like 7th grade.
Oh yeah? But what about the fact that I get all the chicks and you never got any, huh?
How many of those
Spinning
chicks
out of
actually
lose
love... Well, tell me, Klavier, how many of those chicks actually love you back?
Hey, I got laid. So,
Yes,
first than
yes.
you. I got
And
laid
that's
first than
really-
you.
And that's what's really important.
I got laid before you did, brother.
Anyway,
Your reputation as a prosecutor, your fame with the masses... You could lose it all, Klavier. Also, I'll have you know, actually, you know your girlfriend? You remember how she left you? Turns out she's actually been seeing me before.
Take it outside, ladies.
Apollo, did you see that? He's trying to press Prosecutor Gavin.
I know!
Is it said that the fan fiction me and Jove are coming up on spot? I find it more interesting than this.
Hell. There have been fan art comics that try to build up on these two's relationship better than this actual game does. And
Prosecutor Gavin, try to remember.
it's just so baffling because the writers of Ace Attorney have always been able to build up on these relationships well enough.
You know what? You know why, Jova? Because our fan fiction, it comes from passion, unlike this story.
I mean,
use me at forehead.
I think not only is the story lacking passion, there is passion in certain places. The problem is that it's mixed in with too much executive meddling, lack of passion in what was mandated.
Hold on. I couldn't forget what's really important to me, even if I tried.
And what is important to you, Klavier?
In fact, I haven't. Not even once.
What's important to me is my haircut.
That too. But 7 years ago.
Take a shot.
See? That was a nice transition, I'll admit. Finally. Oh, sorry, this is supposed to be younger. You just couldn't resist, could you, Hairbright?
Resist what? Presenting solid evidence?
Might I request we put the current cross-examination on hold?
Please hold.
The prosecution will have to call a new witness.
It was almost like he was expecting that.
State your name and occupation for the record.
The Spectre. I'm familiar with the trial. I watched the video several times.
Which one, Dwibs? The late Inspector or the 007 Spectre?
Any.
Didn't
The
you
one from
find
the DC universe. So.
Didn't you find anything unnatural about it?
Yeah,
Yes.
how Mr. Wright was acting out of character. Unnatural? Yeah, again, Phoenix acting out of character, I feel like a smug prick.
Aside from that. And you know, he doesn't even act like that anywhere else in this game. Surprisingly.
Well, you did seem unusually well prepared. I mean, Mr. Wright only just presented his evidence.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the next moment you call in a true mission. It was almost as if...
As if...
Almost as if... What?
Almost as if your jacket's horrible. Funny. It didn't even occur to me to wonder that I didn't put in another Who Wants to Be a Millionaire track. But now that I do, I see there's only one possible explanation.
Save it for another game?
Almost as if, from the very beginning,
The Earthbound beginning?
you knew Mr. Wright was going to present that evidence.
True.
Well, kind of got that from the first time seeing that scene, honestly.
By the way, Joe,
Same.
I'm curious. How far apart in years are both the Gavin brothers?
Shoot, I would need
I
to check their
forgot.
ages.
Because they look so much alike that I could have swore they were twins.
I
I
think,
actually
No,
thought they were
I don't
twins
think
as well.
I think they may be twins, with Kristoph being the older twin.
is there any actual statement in any of the games?
Check the court
Kristoph
record.
Tenchi.
Don't do this,
Unless it's just a
Clavier.
case of Clavier living in the shadow of
I
Kristoph.
knew because you told me, Kristoph.
Dun dun dun!
Damn.
Remember,
Just
he
told-
mentioned an anonymous tip.
What?
Say what?
There's the.
It was the night. It was the night before the trial. It was
That-
it was a dark and stormy night.
Hey, Joe, here's a cornered theme.
No,
the
no, no,
creature
no, no, no,
was
no, no.
being
This is the
stopped.
tell the
Oh,
truth
Oh,
theme.
this is important. Go ahead.
Pedro,
Not seeing you at the prosecutor's office the day before the trial.
this is the tell the truth theme, Dwibs.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry, I get all confused. You even had a guitar out there.
Ah, I won't be appearing in the trial, actually. But a shame. Would have been a nice competition between the two of us, and I would have creamed you.
Huh? Why not?
I won't be facing off with you on your first trial, apparently. What a shame.
But bro, where can I find my own wisdom pain equivalent?
Well, don't worry, I'm sure you'll get one who's spiky-head enough, but in exchange, I have information.
Information?
God, it really sucks that Phoenix was kind of acting like Winston Payne during that trial. The attorney who will be there in my place tomorrow is not to be trusted. He is your foe. If you crush him like the bug he is, I will show you my respect. Don't even give him any time. Don't give him your respect. I want you to call in a special witness. So now you know why Clavier was acting the way he was during that trial, because Kristoph told him to. He does live in his brother's shadow.
I wondered about it at the time.
Okay, I'll go into why this is interesting and why it's kind of wasted after we finish this part up.
How did Kristoph know so?
Also, considering how harsh the Clavier, you know, why would he want to help him with his first trial? You'd think he'd just throw him in the deep end.
This sort of hints
Remember,
that in the
Shiro, I
second
helped
case.
him. It was for his own interest, Shiro, not
Yeah,
for
that there was no that he wouldn't have done it otherwise. That's my
Players.
point.
Players.
a fair fight, brother to brother. I deserve that much. There you go. He really wanted to have a total,
Yeah.
an actual
Yeah.
group as brother. You let me borrow the.
This,
You showed me all your research on the case.
essentially a cheat sheet for the trial, even more so than the prosecution normally gets.
The victim's belongings?
Why did you do this to me, Kristoph?
Which would have included McAfee's diary, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I guess.
What would Mama say, Kristoph? What would Mama say?
What would mother
You're
say?
grounded.
Parents alive.
Gavin?
My, Clavier. You disappoint me. That's what mother would say.
Nobody cares.
Yes, I guess that's also what mother would have said about him. Thank you, Fendi Italian. You find trees, yet miss the forest.
You're the one missing the forest, Mr. Gavin.
Tell that to the lass you missed with that wide axe of yours you call a mouth.
Yeah, you have what you can reach.
You can't sweep this under the rug. Not anymore.
Screw you, I think I can.
Tell me what was going on behind that truck. Tell me!
Why not?
How he just drops the act.
He's
I've
like, "Fuck it."
achieved what I came here to do.
What's your point?
You see,
I'm-
I see no harm in a little reminiscing.
Like I said, Theo, for the lulz.
No, it
You know-
cannot
No.
be just that.
Thankfully, it's not. Thankfully, it's not just that. Yeah,
You
true.
know, I actually like Kristoph,
think we're
but I
finally-
think Damon was a better version of this kind of
I
character.
think we're going
Yeah.
to shine. We're finally going to shine
In terms
a
of
light
how
on
he handles
Black
being,
Belly
you
of
know,
this dangerous
interrogated on the stand.
Precisely.
intimidating.
You know, that's actually a thing, Shori. you know, it's clear that they're making this off.
But they're similar.
Yeah, I mean, they were making this off the tail end of Rise from the Ashes, you know, and it's clear that, you know, in a ways, this is considered the successor, you know, even like Rise of the Ashes, it has similar mechanics or whatnot. Again, Kristoph, okay, having rewatched this, I have to admit, I'm more interested with Kristoph and Klavier's relationship. Kristoph himself more. Again, here's the thing. So, essentially, what they're getting at is that Klavier has been living in Kristoff's shadow. Oh, I looked up their ages, by the way. Apparently, they have an age separation of about 7 years, because at this point, Kristoph is 32, and Klavier is 25.
It
They just
doesn't
look
look
really
it though.
similar.
Like they look basically the same. It's
They
weird.
probably went to the same aging school that Sakurai went
Kristoph,
to.
Kristoph does look like the kind of person who will put in some cosmetics to, you know, make himself younger.
Yeah.
Anyway,
So, anyway, but yeah, again.
we'll find out more about that in the next part.
Yeah.
See
So,
ya.
yeah.
See ya.
See ya.